live, and everyone who registered is slowly dropping in. So welcome everybody who's already there. 41 people has joined already, and let's wait a bit for some more attendees while we're in. And Millie is of course here. Maybe good as a warm up. Let's see if the chat works. Curious on where everybody is coming from. So please share in the chat where are you coming from, what countries, just for us. Have a little bit of a peek if we need to say good morning, good afternoon, good night. Great. Seeing people from the UK, Germany, Deutschland is auch da, United States, Belgium. Yes, great. Greece, Indiana, a lot of Europe and US I see.
That's awesome.
Awesome, cool. So, Italy, views are discussed. That's great. So let's give it some time. 45 people's already in. And if you are questioning yourself, Niels, I know you. What happened with your hair? I think it's already good to tell you a bit on why I am here, and I'm the speaker instead of Niels. So for people who do not know Niels, he has got long curly hair. But my name is Erik Pannekoek, and I'm representing Niels today as he's unfortunately on sick leave. Nevertheless. Well prepped for the session of today, and the topics that we're going to discuss are definitely hot, not only for Niels but also for me and for Millie, of course. So we will start. Let's give it, let's say, one more minute, where of course we are also going to do some introductions of myself, but more than happy also to listen in on towards Millie from Spreetail, who is going to be as big brings in a big part of this presentation of today. Millie, where are you located?
I am in Nebraska in the United States, so right in the middle of the United States.
Is there also where the company is located?
Yes, yep, this is where our headquarters is.
Yeah, so for me it's a bicycle drive, but now we're talking about the Netherlands to the office. Is this the same for you, or is it still a long distance to cover?
It's about 30 minutes for me to get to headquarters.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Good to know. Cool. Let's. I think everybody's there. We have a lot of people in the room, so maybe good to jump in for today. And yeah, Millie, again, great to have you here. As an introduction, where it was Niels in the announcement, our VP of Strategic, I'm going to be representative for him as well for ChannelEngine. For who not know me, I'm Erik Pannekoek. I'm the Senior Growth Account Manager within ChannelEngine and responsible for all key global clients that we have in our portfolio, often really decentralized. So from the start of a market towards the more technical in-depth dives, I am there to help and consult them with all their topics on making their expansion-driven decisions for especially marketplaces. And here today with Millie Anderson. So give the floor to you for a quick introduction.
Yeah. Thanks for having me here. Millie Anderson. I've been at Spreetail for a little over 7 years. I'm a channel project launch manager. So what that really means is I am vetting out any new channels or any new opportunities that we're looking for Spreetail, bringing on anything that is up and coming where our brands want to be selling at, and then vetting those out to see what the opportunity is and see if it's worth us investing. Also looking at any initiatives that we would be taking on.
Yeah, great.
Oh, yeah. And then I can give a high level, like, what is Spreetail? So Spreetail, we are a full service e-commerce company that helps brands scale their businesses online, whether that's across marketplaces or direct to consumer channels. We manage everything from product listings to content loss optimization, fulfillment and inventory using technology and data with our marketplace expertise to maximize sales and streamline operations. So essentially, those are just all fancy words for we take the complexity out of selling online for our brands so they can grow fast.
Great. Glad to be here. We are really glad to have you in this case. Who are we with ChannelEngine? For who not knowing us, like we are that marketplace integrator. What we are already serving more than 1,300 different types of channels as an integrator towards marketplaces, but also 1P channels. We've been founded in 2013 in the Leiden, Netherlands, where I've been located today, but we have our teams all over the world. Teams of marketplace professionals, so those who are coming from the marketplace business itself. So we have those who worked at marketplaces. I have even been on the first steps for the rental marketplaces business itself, but we see that a lot of expertise is coming from the market. Hubs around the world, so we follow the Sun policy. So Millie, you're talking a lot with our ChannelEngine teams within the US, but we're also based in Berlin, in the APAC region, and growing fast in the Middle East. So Dubai is definitely one of those regions that we're growing fast. And helping our clients all over the world, not only with technical support, but also with the dedicated customer success team who strive for growth. I think everybody is here in the room following that. Yeah, and this is a little bit of the overview, because ChannelEngine is not local, we're global. I think that you see a lot of 3P channels there, but there's a lot on the roadmap. We're growing strong, and I think, Millie, for you also interesting, because we will follow up with some interesting topics on expansion drifts, and knowing by fact that you cover some of those channels already. Just a little bit on the housekeeping topics. What will we bring? We will talk in the next, until 6, in the next 45 minutes, and we are 8 minutes on the way. We will talk about the interesting topics. So ChannelEngine, we have made that marketplace seller insights. Now, maybe you already have seen it. Everybody has received it in their inbox, but today we walk you through that. From ChannelEngine perspective, that we will present what is there, what are the seller challenges in 2025. Millie, and you will, of course, from the floor, will help us by answering with your experiences and what you see. I think the second topic that we will discuss are the strategies that really deliver that result on driving growth and expansion. And I think the third option, and there I'm a keen fan of, are the trends shaping the future, because we're on the edge on a lot of change. We're talking about agentic commerce, AI, what's next? Is the landscape going to change? And I think this is really great to see, and listen also to you, Millie, on what you're going to bring in there. And then we're rounding up already with that takeaways for you to take home towards the business to work on this growth and expansion. But we will not stop there, because until 45, we will be there for a live Q&A session. And if you have that question, we will stay longer, but then you also know what to expect, right? For housekeeping, this is the session. We have a chat available, so please make sure that you will have that chat for use. Ask your questions. We will take them to the Q&A probably, or use them in the meeting itself. The recording of today you will, of course, receive in your inbox, and also all the resources that we're going to discuss today. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. But first of all, let's now dive in towards the survey that we're going to discuss. So what we've done about the survey and the seller report that we have done. So I think that the insights that we're going to present are based on more than 470 marketplaces, and they are coming from the decision makers worldwide. And I think you see in the US, we have a big portfolio, Germany, UK, France, and the Netherlands. And we have a real good overview on how sellers operate today. So what are you doing right now? What are the key levers that you need to take in consideration to make the next move? Is it in the channels that you already have there? Is it in your expansion drift to new channels that you might not know, or all those new players that are coming in there? At the same time, you will find a lot of useful benchmarking for evaluating what is my key consideration. Is it performance and growth, or what else is important, and what do others say about this topic, right? So let's jump into that. Let's dive in. So first question to all of you in the room, on how many marketplaces are you currently active on? So just go to the poll. It's just opened up. You can just choose A, B, C, D, or E. Just curious on what's a little bit in the audience is there. So first answers dropping in. not live on, not active on marketplaces yet. Probably they are on advertising in Google. Let's give it some time. I see 7 or more, a lot of those. It's great to see 48 of the audience. And then we are going to use this question, by the way, to show you already the first insights of the report. So I see that around 31/3 of you are already active on 7 or more. I think that's a great expansion. We have on 5, 6, another solid 23%. Some of you are starting 1 or 2, maybe you're on the biggest one. So that's great. So let's put those numbers next towards what is, what do we see in the market? Eh? So it's like a 2%. See here, 20% that's just on one marketplace. So maybe those 3 people for the 10%. But the average is 6 marketplaces. Millie, just using this question already, if we look at those numbers, where can we put your company on this scale?
Yeah, we would be way on the right side here. We are at 21 channels, and that's including our Europe and Canada business.
Cool. Yeah, this is great. And I think it's also good to mention here. So for some of you, it might be that there's still a questioning on what are we talking about? If we talk about marketplaces, are we also talking about the vendor channels, for example? So, and this is also something that we see is, and half of the sellers is using a hybrid model. So I'm operating, for example, on Amazon vendor, and I'm active on Amazon seller, maybe with different product selections, maybe with similar things. But it's great to see how this is it's growing, and it's growing strong, because essentially everything is becoming a marketplace nowadays. I think what is in this growth is like what is holding you back, and I think this is really interesting as well to bring, because what we see is that they are active on an amount of 6 marketplaces, but what is holding your team back? Because we see that teams are losing time with a lot of manual processes. Some of those more like this is essentially where we jump in with automations. How can we automate things, making sure, but can we can we even think about that we can stop all manual processes? And I think that the biggest time drain is handling prices, updating, managing returns. All those different marketplaces have their own requirements, their own way of work. What is a big time draining? But yeah, especially in the growth of marketplaces, and also how big your team is, because my curiosity, Millie, here is like, you're telling me you're on the right side of this flow. So how big is your team if you're managing more than 20 marketplaces, and how is this set up for you?
Yeah, we have about 18 people on our channels team. And then that's set up. We are focused on like the growth and the strategy side of things, but then we have our cross-functional departments like listing operations, customer experience, where they're more focused on like executing our strategy that we're developing. We definitely found that like handling pricing updates and managing returns was a heavy lift for us. So excited to talk about some of this further on of like how we've really managed that. But we do find that fixing listing errors is right now like a heavy lift on our business. So we do have a team dedicated strictly to this, but looking into like how do we expand into this area a little bit more and optimize it is where we're kind of bridging that gap.
And where do you see it? Where do you still see, for example, this manual work, but holding your teams back?
Yeah, a lot of the manual work is not having the clear insight of like what's live, what's not live, like why is it not live, what do we need to do, like why does there need to be manual intervention to get a listing back live? Why do we not have something in place that can automate that for us to get the listings live? And then also what's the risk that we're having without that item being live, and what's that financial impact too? Just some of that information there.
So it's the time effort. Do we have it live? But it's also considering maybe not presenting it because the skill is maybe more profitable to not bring that attention to it. Just as a follow-up question, what did you already done to reduce these manual types of things?
Yeah, I would say that the most common error that we see is content, missing a single attribution and pulling the listing off of offline. So that's what we do. We did create a Power BI that we use, that we look at, of like every channel. We can filter by our channels to see what's live, what's not live. And that Power BI has been really crucial for our channels team, of just quickly taking a view of our brands and seeing what's live, and what, if we need to troubleshoot or escalate anything, we can be able to do that. And we have a snapshot view of that.
If I'm going to ask you, what is your key challenge? What you have? What would you answer?
Key challenge, I would say, is just doing that at scale. We have 200 some brands, and there's only a few of us on our team. So really prioritizing like those top brands to make sure that they are, they're our top brands. We want to make sure that their listings are live, but also we need to be thinking about the smaller brands too, because they're here to grow their business. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we have.
Let's bring me to the next topic as well, because just interesting in what most sellers report 3 more key challenges. And I think the nearly 1 out of 3, say staying competitive on price and visibility is the toughest. We see you nodding. And fees and shipment costs are followed by that, continued by hit project. Margins are the hardest, but pricing and visibility is the biggest. How do you what is your approach by staying competitive while maintaining healthy margins?
Sure. Yeah, we were able to build an in-house tool. It's our pricing tool that has the velocity or the flexibility to hit our max or our min. And then it also has a target price of where we would ideally want to be. But then we can chase the buy box down. So if we have competitors, we know where our floor is. So we're able to implement that piece of it. And then the visibility piece is we are using some of the channels. They're giving those retails of what the buy box is, or we're able to pull what the retail is on site using some AI tools and really shopping the sites to know where our pricing is. And then that's really helped us, be able to price accordingly and be proactive versus reactive.
Yeah. So clear. So I think this for challenges is the same. And also in my client database, I see a lot of those challenges, and really interesting to listen in what helped your team. And it is also just bringing the other tools in as well who can help you to grow efficiently. Like, it's not everything you have announced. It's interesting because it's something we will discuss later on. Now, I think it's a great topic that we have covered for now. And it brings us already to the second part. So already for everybody is there, we're working now towards the strategies that deliver results. So this is a great key takeaway that we bring. And here, after this, we're going to talk about what is next. So what do you don't need to forget on this? But what are those strategies? And I think this is something that we have seen in our Seller Trends report of 2020. It's like, what drives that success? And I think it's good to mention here is that for a lot of those is it's like, what is the automations and data drives inside that drives performance. And sellers aim to grow sales, boost visibility, and prove that profitability. That's the most biggest impact that we have. And we also see that a lot of the brands are focusing on optimizing their existing channels. So not especially on expanding those. So that's a big difference. Like, am I going to grow or going to make, even with less product selections, a better margin on a certain type of terms? It's not exactly that I think there was a time that a lot of the clients that we were working with were just thinking, okay, it's a Corona time, let's go, let's throw all our products on the marketplace, let's see how it's expanding. And now they're fine, they're tweaking. They see that the margins are not right there. So it's really interesting. Or combining the both of best worlds. So focusing on that growth and expansion. So the strategies is expanding towards, it's almost a multiple topics that you need to cover. And I think that's a good thing, because 62% of them is already using a marketplace integrator or a multi-channel tool. Now, happy to have all channel people using ChannelEngine, either other tools as well in the room as well, because it brings that automations, etc. But the strategy differs for brands, resellers, wholesalers. You're almost in between of both, Millie. So what is the main strategy that your company is driving? And maybe always a follow-up question, is this the same strategy for every channel that you do?
Yeah, our main overall strategy is creating that flywheel that's profitable. We want to make sure that we have healthy margins, but how do we get that flywheel of like the conversion funnel and going down that conversion funnel and then converting? And then how do we, keep keep the customers wanting to purchase from us, or how are we helping with those customers? So I think the strategy is to keep the flywheel spinning faster with smart prioritization or strong execution and scalable process. So that's like our overall company strategy. But then we look and we dive into some of the marketplaces and then we section them out a little bit more. The each channel is going to have different growth levers or limitations. So they also have different algorithms. They have different drives for their searches along with different customer demographics. So each channel is unique in that way. And our channel managers have to adjust to that. For example, like Amazon is scale and being efficient. It's high visibility and mass volumes, whereas Walmart is more of a value and reach kind of approach. Their customers are going to be more price conscious shoppers. Target Plus is going to be like premium positioning and brand curation. So each channel just has their very unique style and what their customers are looking for and how they choose to interact with those channels.
Yeah, no, really important. And I think this is changing as well. Are we looking towards the bigger marketplace, maybe in North America, like a Walmart, but Amazon, of course, is the biggest driver, where if I look towards more the European style, everything is becoming a marketplace. So we suddenly see that change in those niche, how do you say, brand stores or markets on do-it-yourself or electronics, that online suddenly jumps in as now you can also act as a marketplace. So bringing your stuff there as well. And you have a total different audience, where I see with some of my clients there where they are really focused on high level fashion, and then suddenly they can start selling on a niche marketplace because they have some product selection for child's clothing, except for something like that. And then suddenly they see, well, we're doing a massive impact there, but we never change something. Or what if we're changing our description towards the do-it-yourselfer because we had some blotter? But it's really interesting there. Nice insights. We're moving on. I think for the marketplace seller report, it's interesting because brands and retailers measure success differently. So this is also when we're asking them on what is important for you, then we saw a big difference where brands prioritize the netto sales that they're going to do to say, I'm growth if I'm having not sales revenue. Where the retailers in this case often do say, I want to focus on the profit margins per marketplace itself. And I want to manage there the profitability. But I think that the common ground on this is that the aligning the strategies around reach, visibility, and returns is for everybody important. Especially and maybe also for me to understand more on the North American or on an American region or in European, what the performance metrics do you rely on the most and to measure per marketplace success?
Yeah, I would say the metric that we measure the most is on-time delivery. That's really a niche area that we've been building into our business of how fast can we deliver something, because that's going to make a customer convert more if they can get that same product the next day or the same day. So we were able to get like 80% of our catalog is delivering next day and 50% of our catalog is delivering same day. So that's really a metric that we like to keep a pulse on and measure across all of our marketplaces. So it's something that we track company-wide.
Yeah. Why?
Just that's how the shoppers are moving. If they're ordering something online, they want it today, they want it right now, because they could go in the store and get it. And especially with like the Ubers and the deliveries, is just getting a lot quicker with the stores delivering to your home. We want to be able to be competitive as they are on the marketplaces.
Just as a question for the audience here, just to see if you're still awake, what is the fourth key metric where you think that should be here? Just on that, that one, just throw it in the chat. In the meantime, and it's changing. So like, I want to have it same day, same evening. So let's wait until. So the question is, and again to repeat, what is the fourth key metric what you think should be here? Maybe for you as a reason, and maybe you just put between the bars, are you a reseller or a brand? I'm just curious on that one as well, if you dare. But in the meantime, it's swifting, but also looking from the European market. There are also marketplaces that are not looking into that. They say we're niche, it is not depending on the time, or they don't do that free return anymore. And we see also those changes in those local marketplaces. or even a shift with the big Chinese companies that where we love to have that. We were happy to wait 3-4 weeks on that, and then because it's sent to us. And in the meantime, now they're also looking for that local because they see how we act, and we love to have it order today, shipped today, right? But then also delivered tomorrow. Time on site, abandoned cart. Alex, I see your question on the time on site, abandoned cart. Yeah, it's interesting. So the abandoned cart is something that you can focus on. Also, especially on the perspective that if you have this data from your own web stops or from your D2C or your B2B store, it's a challenge there to see how often did somebody abandon this chart on Amazon, for example. I think, how do you see this, Millie? Is this abandoned chart something that you see in general, or do you have experience with it? I do not have it on the marketplace level, to be honest.
Yeah, we definitely do look at abandoned cart because that's an opportunity to re-engage. So we're looking at how can we use our advertising and use our abandoned cart strategy to re-engage with customers to actually convert. Be like, hey, don't forget this is over here. Like let's revisit. Here's a special coupon or a discount that we want to offer you to really get them to convert because they wanted the item at one point in time. So what can we do to trigger them to reconsider that product and purchase it?
Yeah, nice. One-time shipments, one-time delivery rate, repurchase. Yeah, do we get those information from those marketplaces? Is it anonymized? It's a lot of it interesting. Buy box win, really important one. Definitely something where you need to stay on top of. Automated rotation of products per marketplace. It's also interesting, like having your right product selections on the right time. Thanks for this input. So where do we see? So what do we see? We see that Amazon leads everywhere. So we're not talking about how much do you earn, but how many sellers are active on those channels. So Amazon is everywhere leading, but the local leaders like a Walmart in the US or the Bol in the Netherlands take a second place, and they're proving their value of local strategy. I think for those who know Bol.com, and I'm just talking from the own perspective, I'm not exactly on the metrics, but I think it's a 74% of sales that's done on Amazon. For our market, it's 81 on Bol.com. So that's really local, but maybe we're also an exception there, but it shows the value of that local marketplaces. But Walmart in the US is definitely something also there that's triggering for the US. And what you see here, and this is really cool, is that you see that TikTok Shop is already among the top 5 marketplaces in both the UK and the US. So social commerce is taking a big part of that pie. But and so there's already a shift from the traditional marketplace. The second wave is already there, social commerce, and what's becoming next. And you already see some new guys on the block. It's a Temu, it's the Chinese or the local ones, but it's for me hard to understand sometimes, or asking my clients, what is your decision? Where do you choose to start selling on? And what is it worth launching it? But Millie, to you, what is for you making these? What is for your? How do you set it up for success?
Yeah, I would say the two big pieces that I look at when vetting out a channel that we potentially would bring on is that channel investing in themselves? Are they driving advertising to that channel? I want to know that they're truly investing into their platform, and then also showing that they're investing to us. How are they partnering with us? Are they giving us a commission break to ramp up faster? Are they giving us advertising credits? I would like to be able to see that they're invested in our growth equally as much as they are in their own. So I think those are the key pieces of what you would look for when you're really bringing on a channel.
Yeah, and on that, because you have experience, a lot of European sellers not. You have experience with Temu. You're active there. What is your experience in launching that channel on them? And can you maybe share some best practices on everybody who's here?
Yeah, we've been on Temu. I've launched Temu from the beginning to where we are now. We launched it about a year ago. I would say that Temu has been very equally invested in our success. So it's been a very fun platform to work with. Any roadblocks that we encounter, they're quick to help us work through them or whitelist us or whatever we need to do to really see the growth. So I love partnering with them in that way. some of the best practices on Temu that are not on other channels is when you launch an item, a lot of the other marketplaces, we need like a cold start program to really ramp up those new products to the market. Whereas Temu, as soon as you list a product, you want to make sure it has good content because it's going to surface to the top of search at the very, very beginning. And then once that's getting more traffic, Temu is going to continue to surface it to the top. So if you do have a successful launch and customers are interested in the product, it's going to continue to surface to the top of the product page. And then you don't need to spend advertising on those products because you're having a successful flywheel from the get-go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think for the Q&A section, for everybody who's thinking about going to the next wave, like a social commerce or looking in towards those new channels, already feel free to start throwing in your questions in the chat. But Joe is asking, maybe we can pick this one up for now already. Now we're here. Is Temu not just downgrading your brand?
Yeah, that is one of the biggest challenges that we've had with Temu is a lot of the brands see it as a outlet kind of mall or like shopping platform. So that is one of the biggest challenges that we work with our brands of like, okay, how do we educate on Temu, where they're going, what their business could do on Temu? But right now we're really leaning into more of the strategy of, okay, what brands fit the Temu customer? What are the lower AOVs? What are these products? You know, if there's anything liquidation or anything that we need to sell, those perform really well on Temu, along with like our car audio is really taking off. We're seeing a lot of seasonal items take off. So we really lean into the products that are really driving success on Temu. And then we're working on the back end, the challenging piece that we have with the brands.
And it's all about the product selections, so it's not selling everywhere. And you see the differences. You have Amazon as an all marketplace, you have a Temu maybe as a lower end marketplace, or you have these niche marketplaces. But it's interesting. Yep. Last topic to cover for today. I think we're already 10 minutes left before we start the Q&A session, but I think this is a great topic to not get out on, because what trends are shaping the future? So what are we working on? I think automations is we're going to discuss about, but also AI and agentic commerce, because this is the third wave that we're going to jump on together. So don't miss that wave, because they always come in three. You have the marketplaces, you have the social selling, the social commerce, and the third big wave is going to be agentic commerce. But the automation, we already said it. It's like the most powerful thing that you can do, but with the right setup. So how can we, or how can sellers use the marketplace integration or multi-channel softwares? Like 62% said, yeah, we're using ChannelEngine or similar ones. And also to be sure for you, it's not that this report was only shared on our clients. No, it was totally independent. So this is something that we see there. And still yet, 52% is still managing some tasks manually. Is it based on, it's even better to bring in a plus content to Amazon manually, or it's just not possible to do it via an integration, or the returns or the settlement files are still a process that we would love to automate, but we don't know how. And 91% says that automation is really important, either business critical, because I cannot grow if I need to hire 2 more people if it's not automated there. But yeah, it's all about using the right tools. Millie, what tools next to ChannelEngine would you use? And where do you see the biggest opportunity to improve automations for marketplace sellers that are now in this room?
Yeah, I would say the tools that we use are what I've previously mentioned that we have built internally. So our dynamic pricing tool, our listing liveliness dashboard, we also have a listing quality score. So we know the content that we're building, the A+ content, is it going to the channel? So those are some of the tools that we've built internally. When it comes to automation, I would love for us to just take automation to the next level of like, okay, powering into like our marketplace playbook and really telling us the strategy that we should be executing at the right time based on the data points that we have, making those strategic decisions for us on using the data that we already have available, because right now it's very manual. The channel managers are going through all the different data points to put together the strategy, when we should be able to use automation to trigger that. If one of our items is running on promotion, like how do we trigger to already get it into advertising? How do we do a lot of those things by automation? So I think that's a huge opportunity for us. We are doing a lot of still manual tasks. And I think the biggest challenge for us is we just don't have people on the team who really know how to implement automation. Yeah. We've been in e-commerce for a long time, and it's just something that's starting to come around, and we haven't got the knowledge of how to use the automation.
Yeah. Or how do you say? We have a Dutch sentence. It's cursing in the church. It's like sometimes agencies get paid by the hour, and a manual upload of that content is really handy in the business model. But
Yeah.
therefore, we need to work together. So this is also what we see, the shift and driven. It's also the business opportunities that changing there.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about agentic commerce, because this is going to be, I think, the next wave, and like the AI and agentic commerce are the next frontier. So what we see is that AI assistants already 36, and AI personalization, so that hyper personalizing, almost like my girlfriend knowing exactly what my size is, what I love, when I gain some weight, and then now suddenly AI is taking it over. Where I think my girlfriend is still the one that is the best AI personalization. But it's changing there, and we see this rapid change. It's not only on an AI assistance on the marketplace itself, like Amazon has, or that we see that shifting stage, but also that the AI assistants are shaping that on the GPT, where we can even see that GPT in the US already has performed to bring in the buy box, the call to action to look for a product, or even get me advised on what's happening. What do I need? Or can I look at some, can you compare some brands for me? And then immediately you will see, cool, we have this product, and click here to purchase. So that's what's going to drive. And I think where, talking about myself and also with other clients, I'm still coming from the generation where we started our search on Google and it shifted towards marketplace. I see my daughter, by the way, looking up at TikTok, and then she's checking some reels or whatever she's talking about, and then she's purchasing that thing. But I think that maybe our generation is now shifting towards GPT more, get myself advised, getting it over there. But it's going to be the next area of marketplace. And how are we going to jump in there? Because is it not only about bringing the product data towards Amazon, because there is that agent that is going to be telling you on the platform itself, based on this data, this could be an interesting topic? Or is it bringing the general information towards the GPT or Meta of Microsoft Copilot or Perplexity? And there's going to be that in-buy. So it's more on that, or with your data within your aggregator, that we can do the automations itself as well. So it's on all the different types of platforms. It's a new way of thinking, but also about, it's not only search engine optimization or geo, but we're now shifting to agentic. Is your data agentic? To make sure that your products are found on how you can make sure your products are understood by the agents. Millie, in the US, there's a little bit more on that, because there is already complexity in a GPT. What do you see as the biggest disruptor?
Yeah, I would say the biggest disruptor is the agentic commerce. It's an AI tool, making purchase on behalf of shoppers. So AI agents will compare products and check out prices and filter preferences and complete orders automatically. So the the agentic commerce is the biggest disruptor. And I think they were very smart in rolling that piece out first. Because if you look at Shopify and their Shop Pay platform that you have, when you make a checkout very smooth and actually almost gamified, you want to purchase more. So I think that was very smart of them to bring that part of that checkout process into their ChatGPT and their, a lot sooner than later, because I feel like a lot of people think of that as the last piece of the puzzle. So it's very smart of them to bring that. But I think that's going to be the biggest disruptor of, brands must optimize AI recommendations, not just for humans shoppers, but for also AI shoppers as well.
What type of actions are you or your company going to take to get ready for this new era of e-commerce?
Yeah, we are collaborating with marketplaces that we have direct integrations with. So Walmart and Home Depot, just align on best practices to AI discovery. So we're able to partner with them on some of that and do some testing there. Also, we are partnering with a new order tool. It's called Order Network Exchange Alliance this is not public knowledge yet, so I'm excited to share this here, but we'll be partnering with them. And it's a nonprofit alliance that's 70 members for over 50 large brands and platforms and AI providers to align on standardizing and supporting AI order transactions in the industry. So we'll be supporting the designing standard and developing that. So that's really how we're starting to get into that piece of the business and like the AI world, just slowly entering into that.
Great. This is nice news to share here. And I think how you're adapting here, it's partnering up. This is something that we do as well. So like as an aggregator, we're not only partnering up with other aggregators, but also with e-commerce systems like Shopware or with the bigger influencers in the world to see what's happening, what is driving success, even if we do not know it yet, because that's also a thing. Last but not least, before we go round it up, which upcoming trends do you think will be most influencing how sellers operate in 2026?
Yeah, just looking at the past and where we were at our basic content, we were at basic product pages, and then we moved into infographics because consumers were just looking at the images. They wanted to see what was there. And then I think moving forward, it's going into videos. And so now it's shifting that into, TikTok itself and just the videos that people want to see the product. They want to see customers and consumers and creators, people they trust talking about the product. And that's where things are shifting. I went to a TikTok conference not that long ago, and they were talking about in the first 30 seconds, 90% of their users go to the search bar. So they're not using Google to search for these products. They're using TikTok. They want to see the people that they trust talking about these products. And that's really where everything is shifting. It's more to active videos, or even, take that to the next level and go to lives. So we're trying to figure out, like, how do we shift our business to get on this train and get ahead of this curve? Because I feel like we're a little bit behind in that area, and we need to build out how do we offer this for our brands, because that's how they're going to be successful in moving into these forward trends for 2026.
Yeah, where does the customer journey start nowadays? It was in the old-fashioned catalog. We went towards Google.
Yeah.
Then we went to social commerce. And now the next big thing is coming up. But no, great. Yeah. It's I do not have TikTok, but I see what's happening there. So let's wrap it up, guys, because we're almost there. And I think it was really interesting to have you all on this. I think the 5 most key takeaways already for the audience who is there. Please already consider what is your top key takeaway for this one. So the poll is opening up. So feel already there, but for us, and also what we've seen in the seller report, but Millie, also great thanks for your input in this one as well. It's like that marketplace expansion is accelerating, a lot of new channels, new ways, social commerce, TikTok, GPT, but efficiency wins. Without automation, we cannot move forward. We cannot scale. We cannot drive profit if we need to have new people there, or eliminating the manual handlings. So automation is not longer optional, and channel strategy matters. So what you already said. So it's a way different strategy if we talk towards the Amazons or towards a TMU. And I think that the audience already asked that. Is it downgrading my brand? No, yeah, it's the channel strategy. I go with this product selection there. I'm going to adopt my content. My description for Amazon is going to be different than that one on Walmart. And it's not just simply throw everything towards the channel, but making sure that you have the right products on the right channels. And profitability and price visibility define the competitiveness. And of course, AI is going to be the next wave. But this is where we've talked about what there. Looking in what the audience says in between, if everybody fills it in, what is for you the most important one, Millie?
Yeah, I would say the most important one is the automation is no longer an option. This is something that I feel like our internal teams need to be offering some kind of schooling or opportunity to learn to automate, because this would improve efficiency in our roles so much, where it would open up bandwidth that we can take on other initiatives and really, grow the areas of the business that we've been wanting to. There's a whole backlog of things that I would love to touch or get to, but I can't, because there's a lot of things that I need to, do on a daily basis that I could potentially automate.
Yeah, great insights. And I think everybody here is on the same level as you. I think it's still interesting to see that not a lot of people putting in AI and agentic commerce, where please check the report. You will also see the amount of people that are using the AI at the moment to search for some kind of products. So against what is now where they're using TikTok for, or Amazon. It's a massive, interesting topic to see. Thanks again, Millie. I think that we're now on that part of going to the Q&A session. So everybody who's there, please feel free to throw in your questions there. We're going to stay here for a couple of, I think at least 50 minutes here to answer all of those topics. So that's would be great. In the meantime, if you're jumping in, that we're definitely going to share this seller report again with you if you didn't see it there. But also we're going to give you some giveaways with it. It's a business case template. It's a marketplace launch checklist. It's strategy guide. Like what are exclusive case studies, not only from Millie, but also from others, how they're doing. I think it's key what you already said with AI and agentics, like jumping on that wave. You need partners. Don't invent the wheel yourself. And we will bring that in. Millie, anything that you would like to add before we jump into the Q&A there?
No, I just want to say that this has been great. I love talking about e-commerce, and I am just a nerd about it. So I'm excited to answer any questions that might be in the chat.
Cool. So let's looking at the chat. It's quite empty, guys. This is really your opportunity. And also there, feel free to just contact us. Like we're here for you to we're here for you also to answer those questions. Not to tell more about the companies that we work on, but really being your partner on how to work on those expansion and being part of the next wave. Thomas, you're welcome. RC, I see your question popping up. How can you manage these high return rates to maintain some margins? Millie, I got some insights here from some clients of myself, but I would love to give the floor to you.
Yeah, sure. We have a team dedicated to looking at returns, and then what are the return reasons that are coming in? Like really, it's just mitigating your return rate to get margin back into your sale. So we're looking at like, why is the product being returned? Is it a frequent issue that's happening? And then we take whatever those issues are, and then we take it to the brand. Is it a boxing issue? Is it, this is catching on fire or whatever the issue would be. And then we work with the brand to fix those for the next iteration of purchase that we're going to be doing to really lower that return rate. And we've seen great success doing that internally. Yeah,
it's good measuring on what are the reasons. And I think I have some examples of people who sold flip-flops. Where it's in Australia, it's called a thong, but if you do not change the title and it's a thong in Europe, then you will not, or it's a return because it's not expecting what is exactly there, but it's a content based. But at the same time, it's also what you say, what is going wrong with the shipment? Is there something went wrong, or is it a size table for clothing that is not it's conflicting with the area? But also it's country driven, right? It's like looking at fashion and maybe the bigger fashion platforms, there's a massive difference in how are you doing and handling those products on Germany regarding towards other countries, because the return rate in Germany is for already in Europe almost 30-40% higher than any other country because they just buy and return. So that's also being careful on those product selections, and maybe sometimes it's bringing back the selections and focus on what is really important, bringing you higher margins compared to all the returns that you should have handled. That's another one. Elena is bringing in a question. What margin would you say product needs, or at least to be successful in the marketplace? And the production costs are very high, so we're already struggling with this first step.
Yeah, I would say the margin definitely depends on like your business, your overhead, your operation, and like what you would need to be successful in the marketplace. If you do have a higher production cost, I would be looking in the market to see what, like, are your items categorized correctly, or like what is your unique feature that your product offers that maybe some of these other competitors don't offer, and how can you lean into your content and then show that your product is more of a premium brand. So a good example is like sending some products through, if you're selling on TikTok, there's a sampling program to get creators talking about these unique features to show that the higher price that you're offering is actually worth it because you get XYZ from my product that you don't get with others. And then that really shows the demand or the product quality that you're offering and why you're offering a higher price.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but.
Yeah, but it's an interesting way of, and I think there are multiple ways, and it's also about how are you building your price. And maybe from some of the clients that I have is that, how are you going to build up your selling price? Is this a minimum price? Is this a maximum price? And I think clients can consider, sometimes it is, I would like to have my seller price everywhere the same. And is this needed? How are sellers acting nowadays? It's country dependent. I'm starting my purchase on the marketplace, but also think about bringing in your seller price and start building up your minimum price. And it could be that you can think about, okay, this is my purchase price. What do I need to pay for a shipment cost? What are my marketplace fees on top of that? And then try to find your minimum seller price where you still be profitable. And then start selling. And sometimes for brands, it could be easy because then you have your minimum seller price. But at the same time, it is, if you're a reseller, you can play with it. This is my minimum price, but I want to have a strategic repricer on top of that. And maybe I can even go higher. And this is my maximum price. And then playing with how you set up that price and in which type of way, instead of this is what I should at maximum get from it, build it up from below. And I think that's something what make it really insightful. And I think it's also good to know that you should not expect that having different prices on different platforms would influence the sale. Looking at the questions, Sandra is asking, how do you approach deal periods, specifically on Amazon? Do you use standalone deals monthly or focus more on participating in main deal events?
Yeah, we focus on deals weekly, so we don't do monthly. We do weekly promotions that we run across the channel. We do focus more on like Prime exclusive deals. We've seen those PEDs is what we call them. We see those perform really well. Just the customers are getting a better deal when they have a Prime account. But we do also participate in like larger main events. So if it is something that like Prime Days is coming up, we do participate in those. We strategically just look at like, what are our buys look like? Like, can we plan ahead and make sure we're bringing enough product to support this? Can we get advertising dollars behind this promotion? Because we have found that a promotion is not going to be successful if nobody sees it. So you need to be able to drive traffic to the promotion in order to have a successful deal run.
Yeah, great, interesting. Just looking at the time, I think Bar has a really interesting question where you might say what I'm going to answer with this, but I think this is a great one to bring up. How many people, different roles do you need to manage for 200 brands on different marketplaces? And I think there's an assumption here that it also bites a bit into the profits.
Yeah, for managing 200 brands, we do have the merchant side of the org who have those direct relationships. It's about 1 merchant to 8 brands is what we're looking at. We like to make sure that they can still have those exclusive partners with them and really work as growing their brands. Managing 200 brands on a marketplace is very tough, but we do have a team that's called our brand strategy managers. They partner with the brand. So they do have a book of business that they're looking at the content. They're looking at the advertising strategy. We have the listing optimization team that's making sure that the listings are live, that the content's converting. So it's not just like a channel manager team that's doing all of the work. So we do have a bunch of different cross-functional teams that are supporting us as we're executing the strategy. We really focus on managing those relationships with the marketplace. Like, how can we get into exclusive beta programs? How can we negotiate commission so we can hit those good promotion deals that we're investing in, they're investing in us.
Yeah. Interesting. Thanks for that. Bar, I hope this answered your question a bit. And then let's see if we find some other interesting topics. Else, maybe we are going to round it up from here. So, Millie, again, thank you very much for bringing in all your insights and information towards what we have found out in our seller report. I think it's for great value. So thank you for that. Thank you for everybody in the audience who has been so helpful also in the polls. And yeah, I hope that everybody goes home with some interesting insights about what is interesting to see in the setup report, but also about what's next, and do I need to jump on that, and can I do this on myself, or bringing in some partners here. Millie, I'm really glad that we're partnering up on this one and taking that wave. So looking forward to what it will bring. And then everybody, you're welcome. And always feel free again in the package that you will receive in the report download and all the resources. You will find enough ammunition to go on in the next year. You're welcome, Sander. And use those checklists, because we've built them together with e.g. Millie and other clients on what is important for you. So everybody has his own best strategy, right? But in the meantime, it's better copied than bad invention. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great morning, afternoon, evening.